For our final video, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to look at adding and subtracting with estimating, and with estimating with decimals. So let's just look at our first problem here. If I have $17, oops, that's not what I wanted. I want this one here. If I have $17.25 and I want to subtract $11.79. Well, I want to, for this to work, for this to be easier for me, I'm just going to round this to whole numbers. So this problem is going to become 17, that point 2, I'm going to round that down to 17, and then this one I'm actually going to round up to 12, and so I'm going to have essentially 17 minus 12, and I should get 5. So we know that the answer to this should be somewhere around 5. So we know that it should be, when we're doing this, we can figure out what is a reasonable versus an unreasonable answer. So let's look at another one here. If I have 8.9, I'm going to add to that 5.8. Now to do this problem, we're going to round, and again, we're just going to go to the nearest whole number. We've got 8.9, 9 is going to bring us up to 9, 8 is going to bring us up to 6, so basically we've got 9 plus 6, that's going to give us, our answer should be somewhere around 15. Now this is a great way to just, as we're getting ready to solve problems, to give us a nice range in terms of, okay, are we close, are we not close? Alright, another problem here. Let's look at 3.52 less 1.54. Okay, now when we look at this one, we're going to look at, and here, just because they're both so close to 50, I'm just going to go to 3.5, round to the nearest half, 1.5, subtract. It should be somewhere, my answer should be somewhere around 2. Now, if I wanted to, I could have just gone to 4 minus 2, and I would have had 2 right there. So regardless of what you round to, you should get a very similar number. So I'm going to give you 3 problems, and I want you just to round them to get an estimate. And then when you're done with that, what I would like you to do, I would like you to actually finish the subtraction problem or the addition problem to see if your estimation was close. So here's the first problem. 6 and 36/100 plus 6 and 81/100. So why don't you first estimate and then add it to see how close your estimation was. Then problem number 2 for you is 0.716 minus 0.698. And your final problem, 10.239 plus 9.062. So again, take some time. First, we want you to estimate, to solve, and then I want you to solve it on your own to see how close your estimation was. Alright, if we're going to estimate this one, I would estimate this to go to 6, look at our neighbor, that's going to tell us to go down, 6, and this, look at our neighbor, that's going to tell us to go up. Adding those together, it's going to be 13. Now, when I work the problem, that 6 plus 1 is 7, 3 plus 8 is 11, bring my decimal point down, carry the 1, 12 plus 1 is 13. So these two are relatively close. Now let's look at this one here. For me to bring that over, I would look at this. I would round to the nearest tenth here. This is going to be 7. This is going to be 7. Subtract. I should get a number that's relatively close to 0. Well, let's look. 6 minus 8 I can't do, so this becomes 0. This becomes 16. 16 less 8 is 8. Can't do, so this becomes 6. 10 minus 1, 9 is 1. 6 minus, and then bring. Now this number, if you look at this, is fairly close to 0. So if you notice, we're getting reasonable answers. All right, for this one here, I'm going to round to the nearest whole number. So that's going to tell me to just go to the floor, so just 10. This is going to tell me to go to the floor, which is 9. So my answer should be around 19. Well, now let's actually do the problem here. 9 plus 2 is 11, carry the 1. 6 plus 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10, carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, and then 10, 0 plus 9 is 9. Okay, so again, 19, whoops, sorry, that was not what I wanted. 19.301 is relatively close to 19. Okay. So this is just a kind of a way to help you so that you can help figure out if your answers are somewhat reasonable. It's a nice way just to quick, just quick say, okay, my answer should be around 5. My answer should be around 13. Just to help you out with this process. Then you can look and say, my answer was 26. Well, maybe you added instead, or my answer was 0. Well, maybe you subtracted instead of added, and things like that. So you do really have to pay attention to whatever sign you are to make sure you're adding or subtracting correctly. That's all we have for today's video. Please check with Mr. Winkleman. I'm sure he has a wonderful gift for you that he can't wait to give you. Otherwise, yeah, good job.